We are so lucky to have with us Bart Mol from the Netherlands. He runs Satoshi Radio, a sort of Dutch version of the kingdom, where they are not just a media channel, not just a radio, but also very community-driven, focused on projects within Lightning and many other aspects of the Bitcoin world. Just like me, he's also been inspired to take the journey across the Atlantic, come here to El Salvador for this historical moment. And that's how we would like to start this evening with you. So thank you so much for coming on the channel, Bart.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Eric.
We're improvising this quite heftily.
Yeah, we were on top, but it was a little bit too hot. I mean, we could have known, right?
We could have known.
It's 1 o'clock. Well, yeah, it's 1 o'clock. So yeah, that's a little bit too hot for a 15-inch. It's too hot for us.
Yeah.
Let alone for a MacBook. So.
Oh my God, as a Norwegian, you can only imagine.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me a bit about you, because I mean, I've been checking out your work. I love it, and I'm really impressed. And I would like our viewers to know, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah. So I'm Bart. I'm the host and founder of the Satoshi Radio podcast. We basically started 3 years ago with the podcast, somewhere in 2018. It started a bit as a crypto podcast and basically moved more and more to a Bitcoin podcast.
Right.
Yeah, and that's where we are now. So we do live shows like this. We do once a month, every last Thursday of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Every week we do a podcast. We started doing tutorials on YouTube for Lightning nodes, wallets, transactions, everything that beginners need to know to get started in the Bitcoin world.
Right.
Yeah, and that just keeps on growing. So it's really community driven, basically.
But let me go back on what you said there. I mean, you said you started as a crypto channel, but you called it Satoshi Radio.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, we are lucky because it even fits better now, basically. Right. I think with all the maximalists, like if they've would have known us at the beginning, they would have been happy that we chose that name at that part. But now it's fine because yeah, like I said, it's mainly Bitcoin. Yeah.
Right. So the name of the channel has become aligned over time.
Exactly.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Tell me, why did you come here? I mean, it's a big journey.
Yeah. So basically, the channel kept growing and growing. And more initiatives started popping up. So we did a lot with Lightning. We've been working on getting our community onto Lightning, getting our community connected to each other, so that we really have a distributed Lightning network in the Netherlands. And yeah, like I said, that kept growing and growing. And then I saw what the guys here at Bitcoin Beach were doing, also really heavily Lightning inspired. You don't really see on-chain; it's all Lightning here. Right. And I was like, yeah, I have to go there. And like I said, the was so big that we had some sponsor afforded to come here or take a week off of work or get some time. Yeah. And yeah, the more I thought about it, the more I thought it was a good idea. Basically, in the beginning, I thought, nah, that's a bit too crazy to actually go to El Salvador, especially because our government is saying, nah. Shouldn't travel there, right? It has a big orange sign if you look it up. But the more I thought about it and the more I saw other people go, I was like, yeah, I should go there. So, and then I went. Yeah. Yeah, and didn't regret it for 1 second because it's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
What is your impression? What's the experience here?
Yeah, for starters, I've never been to Central America, so like I was really impressed with how green everything is and how hot, humid and hot everything is. So that was more like a general.
That was a Northern European in you, being happy to finally get out of the rain.
Yeah, and then you come here and it rains even harder. But El Zante, yeah, it's really a town, right? You don't even have like hard roads.
There's no roads.
No roads. Yeah. I mean, there is electricity, there is internet, mobile internet. But yeah, I mean, it's really a small coastal town. Also been to San Salvador. Yeah, and that's more what you would expect in a country like this. It's a big city and it's really crowded. It's like organized chaos, right? It's like they're doing transactions all over the place. They're giving.
Get a little bit closer. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Just realizing now that we might be a bit further away from the microphone than we could have been. Yeah. In San Salvador, it's a whole different world than out here.
Yeah, but still, like that was what I saw, and that's also interesting for Bitcoiners. Is like there is no digital money. Like there's no PayPal, there's no, I mean, they have credit cards, but everybody's like, no, the fees are too high, so only tourists use them.
And the rest don't have an account anyways.
Exactly. And so what you see is that there are a lot of like super fast transactions. Like for instance, a lot of people are selling fruit alongside
the road.
Along the roads. And when people stop at a stop sign, they come up to your car and say, do you want fruit? And the way the transaction goes is there is no price basically. So you just say $1, and if the vendor has a bad day and he has a lot of fruit, he will say, okay, that's fine. If he has a good day and he's almost out of fruit, he's like, no, I want more. And then you give $2. So
it's a very fluid economy, and the market works in this way.
And it has to happen. The whole thing from start to finish has to happen in 10 seconds because the light goes green. Right. And so when you come from the West, when you come from Europe, you try to put your own framework on top of these countries, and then you're here, and then like immediately you can put it in the trash. You're like, oh no, that's not gonna work. Like what I thought, that's definitely not gonna work. So if you want lightning in those kind of transactions, it needs to be even faster and easier than it already is. And yeah, that was one of the things that really stood out to me. Is like, whoa, this is really a cash-based society, and they basically skipped the whole internet era, like the period from 1990 until 2010, like with laptops, desktops, wired internet. They immediately went to mobile internet on phones. So and most
just leapfrog the whole technology.
Exactly. So there are really big differences between our countries and Europe and the Nordics and El Salvador. Yeah.
But I mean, still, think of those street vendors. I mean, yes, lightning can be faster and easier, but a lot of these vendors are not under such time pressure, and they don't have access to bank accounts.
Sure.
And for a lot of them, this will be a revolution in being able to take the money that you make from something as simple as selling fruit along the road and immediately connecting that to a global network of finance.
I agree.
Which is, a revolution for a lot of people's sovereignty, I think. Hey, I just want to remind everyone that please ask questions in the chat. We are going to go through it. And while you do that, you will see that under the chat, there's a nice little button called Super Chat, which is how you support this channel during our live broadcasts. I know that a lot of people have been following what we did here in El Salvador. So if you want us to keep doing stuff like this, and that is also, of course, for Bart and Satoshi Radio, please do find it in your heart to donate a bit. It's the only way this project is driven. It's the only way we get further along this road. So thank you so much for that. Sorry, just have to get that message in and drop your questions. Okay, we're getting some comments. Elon Musk should send Salvadorians some Starlink so all of them have a good internet. Yeah, do you think we'll see a Western capital flow in here, Western innovation, to try and facilitate what's happening?
I mean, the nice thing about satellites is they can cover pretty big areas of the world. So, and I think that the whole idea of Starlink was to provide internet to places where there is no internet at this point. So that could really help here, because one thing that I noticed, there was also something when I got out of the plane, for some reason my phone wouldn't connect to the mobile internet. And it was really simple in hindsight. It was because my iPhone was on automatic selection and it just kept on choosing the wrong provider for some reason.
Right.
Didn't really matter. The outcome was that I didn't have internet at the first day here. So I had my Blue wallet topped off. I had 1 million subs.
But you couldn't use it anywhere because you didn't.
Exactly. I had my own node connected. I had everything going for me except for internet, so I couldn't do anything. And so like you don't have the problem with cash. Cash works without internet. So that's something like basically the most important thing actually to have a stable internet, a reliable internet connection. And I think those satellites and those projects could really help because I also think they're getting cheaper and cheaper. I think Starlink is even, I don't know, for 100 euros or something. It's not.
So it's becoming possible for nations like this to actually make
like my when I remember satellites, like satellite phones from the 1990s or something. It's I still remember it as the most extremely expensive thing, right? Like 1 minute for 100 euros or something.
Yeah, impossible to imagine being a solution for lightning.
And I think we've come a long way from there. Yeah. So I think I think that is something that surely can help. And yeah, so for the rest, I actually think that I was really impressed with the Lightning implementations that we already have seen. Here at Bitcoin Beach, you have the Bitcoin Beach wallet, which basically has a QR code that. Oh, it's okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to organize things for the broadcast while you're talking.
No, it's fine. It's fine. The Bitcoin Beach wallet has a QR code. You can scan it, then you go to a website, you get a static invoice, and then you can donate to different vendors here.
It's very complex and like multi.
Sure, but I asked the guys at the Hope House, and they said that the vendors should actually use the app to make their own invoices. So it's possible. It's more like an educational.
Right. So they're just not there where they've gotten used to using it that way.
Exactly. Starbucks and Wendy's and the Pizza Hut really did a really good job to implement Lightning already. I think they used a service. It's a startup from South America. I think it's called Ibex Mercado.
I see a lot of the vendors are using that.
Yeah.
Are there other providers? Is the competition in this space OpenNote?
Yeah. McDonald's is using OpenNote. I didn't really like their implementation because they first showed a QR code that you need to scan with your phone, and then you get to go to a website where you see the QR code of your invoice. And the thing is, if you see a QR code as a Bitcoiner, you scan it with your wallet, right? And that doesn't work because you have to scan it with your camera to go to the actual QR code.
And even just if that happens once, you immediately go like, oh, fuck it, let me find some dollars.
Exactly.
And it breaks the whole process and the purpose.
Exactly. So what you want is the same as with Starbucks. Is basically they just say, okay, you had 2 coffees. That's $5. It converts it to Bitcoin. You get a QR code, scan it, and everyone's happy.
Exactly.
And I got a comment on Twitter actually from someone who was saying, yeah, but the McDonald's instantly converts it to US dollars. So why are you even bothering, right?
Right. But then they're kind of missing the point, right?
Yeah, they're missing the point. Yeah, because I did a transaction using my own node. It traveled 10,000 kilometers over the ocean in a couple of seconds. I paid for my McDonald's hamburger, and I paid less than 1 cent in transaction cost. And
the only ones who actually got that money of the transaction cost, even the 1 cent, were the people who were providing the actual service.
Exactly. And then if they want dollars, sure. That's the whole point. That is Bitcoin as a payment rails. So basically doing an international transaction for a transaction fee less than 1 cent. Of course, if they want to, put it into dollars, put it into euros, put it into pesos. I don't care. I mean,
but the rail, they still wouldn't be able to get to that point without the rail.
Exactly. Yes. Everyone profits because I don't pay transaction fees. They don't pay transaction fees because the merchant normally actually pays more fees than the actual customer itself. With the credit cards, also with debit cards in the Netherlands. Because a lot of people in the Netherlands think that transactions are free. Paying for it, so they're
the one who's taking the hat and the cost is pass on to the consumer.
After that in the price. So that was a really cool experience. That I never honestly, if you would have asked me 4 days ago, are we going to see Lightning implementation on the first day in San Salvador? I would have said, maybe in some small shops using the Chivo app.
And then boom.
Yeah, and then actually the Chivo app didn't work.
Yeah. But Lightning does.
Yeah,
and that is so beautiful.
Exactly.
You have a centralized. So for those of you who haven't been following this is a point that's worth underlining. You have an app from the government, Chivos, which is a KYC app. You have to register who you are. The government will know who you are, connected to your Bitcoin, and in return you get $30 of Bitcoin. So there's like an incentive structure. This app was not ready on day one, and as a result, everyone in El Salvador were forced to try Wallet of Satoshi or Zeus or Blue Wallet or one of these alternatives that are either open source or and you go around El Salvador, and despite Chivas not being ready, all the merchants, McDonald's, Starbucks, whoever you go to, they were ready to use Wallet of Satoshi. They were ready to use whatever you wanted to use.
I mean, they just use Lightning, which is an open protocol. So they just code, and then you're free to use Blue Wallet. Breeze Wallet, Wallet of Satoshi. You could use Chivo.
And you have these people in our countries, right, who think that, hey, why do we need things like Lightning? I can already send money from my bank account to this merchant so immediately. And they are missing the point that it's a local money. That's not an open protocol. You can't use that value across a bunch of different services. You can't send it for free across the world. You can't send it at that speed. It's
I mean in Europe, the transactions costs are low. Like I
Yeah,
think it's
which is
like,
why we don't see the need for Bitcoin, right?
no, but like the thing is that like let's say in Europe, for the sake of the argument, like transaction costs are, I don't know, 10 cents or something, or 5 cents per transaction. That means if you're buying a TV online, it's fine, right? TV is 1,500 euros or something, whatever. If you buy a PlayStation online, 500 euros, also fine. Nobody cares. If you buy a groceries online, 100 euro of groceries, still fine, right? If you
But
buy,
if it's a Coca-Cola, it's suddenly like, what is this?
yeah, like if you pay 15 euros for your meal, then you're still like 10 cents. Right, fuck it, I'm hungry. Let's go, right? But for one bottle of Coke for €1, you're starting, that's 10 cents. And that's exactly the point where if you go even deeper, you get into the point of like micropayments,
right?
Like streaming SOTs for podcasts.
So you actually get a whole subset of possible economic transactions that becomes completely impossible, maybe even unimaginable.
Yeah,
right?
that's the point. Like people in Europe think, yeah, we already pay on the internet for free. Yeah, that's true for normal transactions, but for micro transactions, we are not doing them because they're too expensive using the normal system. For instance, once Twitter starts implementing Lightning, you could say, I don't know, for every like I give 1 SOT, or 10 or 100 or whatever. Everything's like, things like that become possible. So you open up like a Pandora's box of micro payment solutions. Like in the Netherlands, for instance, we have one community member in our podcast who is also making a really cool website. It's called stacking.com, where you can actually get cash back in Satoshis on Lightning when you, pay at like a shitload of shops. The thing is, he had like an umbrella in his in his garden, right? You can sit below it when it's sunny. It's not an umbrella, like a big umbrella. I don't know the name in English. And he had like a sprinkler that sprinkles mist, right? Water, so you stay cool. You see it in some Spanish countries or whatever. And like he basically took Lightning, the Lightning module, the open source Lightning module that everyone can take. It's free to use. You can just, it's like a Lego block. You can pick it, and then you have a payment solution. And he basically included it in his own tool that he built. And now people can go to a little website if they are in his garden. So, I mean, nobody's going to use it, but that's not the point, or it's exactly the point, basically. And they can go to the website. They can say, okay, I want 60 seconds of mist, of spray. And then you have to pay 60 SOTs. And then you pay, it's instant, no transaction fees, and then you have 60 seconds of spray. Like, this is a kind of a stupid example, but the thing is, because it's so cheap, because there are no transaction costs, and because it's instant, people start trying out stupid shit.
Right.
And if 1,000 people start trying out stupid shit, and 1% of them, it's actually not stupid, it's genius, then you have still, where we have like 10 people. Like, you have 10 genius ideas. If 100 or 1,000 people start doing stupid shit, open source, everybody starts trying.
Right, almost like challenging one another. Like,
exactly.
I dare you to do something crazy than I just did.
What you did at your podcast, right? All the community initiatives, like we have exactly the same. Like, we constantly are trying out stupid shit.
Yes.
Donation bots, meme bots. Name it, and we are trying to make it. There are so many cool Bitcoin initiatives that just start from a stupid idea because it's free, because it's open source, and because it's,
our whole Lightning project, which has a certain parallel to what you guys are doing, that started with us joking about how cool it would be if there was some kind of box that just said the kingdom with our logo. That was a Bitcoin folder you could just plug in. And then, once we start thinking about that stupid idea, you realize it's not that hard to get a vendor to put together such a package, slap on a logo, and then give a discount to your members. And voila, you can suddenly create a movement to make nodes all over your country. And that's just one little stupid idea. If you have, like you say, 10,000 of those, you can change your country, even if your country is a country that's so stable, has so much, and has such well-functioning bank, really need Bitcoin. But they can still understand Bitcoin and feel it, and maybe even have a certain kind of hope through Bitcoin.
But you see things happening like all over the world. You have paywall implementations for Lightning. You have CrowdWall, which is actually a new concept. I really want to try that out. It's basically one guy built it. So it's a paywall, but everybody pays for it. And once the goal is completed, it's open for everybody. So what you get is that I, as a podcast, I say I want 500,000 Satoshis for this episode, but I don't care who pays it. Like if there's one whale in my group that wants to pay the 500,000 in his own, fine, cool. Then it's open for everybody. So that means that the people that don't have a lot of money can still enjoy your content for free, and the people that have a little bit more money can actually pay for the rest. And I think that is way more in those new kinds of ideas that are possible with Lightning. They are way more in the Bitcoin way of thinking, like in the Bitcoin ethos, like a paywall where everybody has to pay. That's not Bitcoin. And there are so many of those initiatives. And then you have, I didn't even talk about Bolt 12, so like the new Lightning implementation where you can actually have an invoice that doesn't expire, basically, so that you can say, okay, I will make a blog post or a YouTube.
And anyone can pick up on that
on your live stream. You can put a never-ending Lightning invoice, so that people can always pay, and you don't have to keep refreshing new invoices, because now if somebody pays your invoice, it's completed, and you have to generate a new one. Like static invoices, that is like really, really cool, and things are happening, and nobody, there is no development department of Bitcoin.
No, this is all happening without any organization.
Just doing it.
Like fuck it all up. It's fantastic.
That's really cool.
I got to throw some thanks out there. We got Casper from the Netherlands, I think, and he says a hippo character repeatedly points to the streamer while chanting "Get good." I believe that's an emoji. Thank you so much, Casper. Really appreciate it. And thank you, Morten. It's great to see you. Nuken in the Köken. I think that's some kind of Dutch phrase that I haven't learned, but I see people say everybody knows this line. What does it mean?
People can put it in translate. They'll find out.
Okay. So it's not child friendly. I see. Can we donate in Lightning? Normally we would have been prepared for this, but as I said, this is really like improvised. So I sent you a link to a photo in the chat to the QR code of our Lightning wallet. So if you want to donate through Lightning, normally we would have a better solution for you, but please do. It's very appreciated, and you do have the option through that photo. Let's see. We have Hedi in Kabauta gesehen. What does that mean?
It's like the mythical character of a midget.
Of a midget, okay. A little trolling here. Good.
A troll is a bit like the original trolls, right? That you see in the movies from way back. They are small and they're a bit creepy.
Well, I meant chat creepy. Trolling, but sure.
Yeah, but the kabouter is actually kind of a troll, but not the creepy one. It's more like
leprechaun kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All right, we got a nice question here from Chimera, who is one of the volunteers in our community. Bart and Eric, how did you guys meet? Are there a lot of Europeans in El Zonte right now?
We met via Grindr. No, it's a joke. Anyway.
If my wife is watching this.
No, I mean, people just meet. Like, there are a couple of places where people hang out.
Especially the Bitcoiners. I mean, there's like 3 big hotels that Bitcoiners hang out.
And people go there to drink a beer. And most of the times there is someone at a table that you know, and they say, hey, and then they say, yeah, join. And then you meet the other guys. Yeah, and after that, you always know someone on every table, and then you just join.
I mean, this is fascinating, right? When you sit in Europe, this world over here, which is so visible on Twitter and visible in social media and so on, it feels so far away and inaccessible in a sense, almost like you're a spectator, but creating a space very far away. You come over here, and it's such a we're literally a little kindergarten, and there is like that whole status and distance goes away. Yeah. And we're just a bunch of nerds and cool people with nice hearts trying to
find out what is happening here. That was a
well, that is one thing. Well, yesterday I had a conversation with an El Salvadorian who talked about like the different ways of measuring success in life. And he pointed out that what he really liked about the Bitcoiners was that it's the first time he's seen a bunch of Westerners come to El Salvador, not to be some kind of rich surfer asshole who's from French nobility and then just pisses on the local population. It's the first time they get people to come over here to measure success and how much good can they do for the world? How much better can you make other people's lives? What is your legacy? And it's changing their perceptions of us.
I agree, that's cool. And I still think also for Bitcoin is when I was talking to some guys at the Hope House, which is basically a part of Bitcoin Beach, where they help out the community, do cool stuff for children around and whatever, some educational stuff, English lessons, whatever. And they're also like, it's cool to invest money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we can use it, but what he really appreciated was people investing time, because time, no matter how rich you are, like an hour is an hour.
It's scarce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's even harder than Bitcoin. Like time is the hardest form of money. And he was like, if someone joins me on a trip of 3 hours to go play with local children at the sea for free, like that is what we are looking for. So we're looking for knowledge, we're looking for time, we're looking for effort. And of course, if you bring mobile phones, or if you bring Bitcoin wallets, or if you bring Raspberry Pis or whatever, sure. I mean, fine.
Yeah.
But and that really hit home. And also the activity itself with all those kids, and they were just having fun, but also they're really putting time into getting those kids together, talk about their dreams, and also make sure, like, guys, if we have internet, if you learn English, like, the world is at your feet. It doesn't matter if you come from El Salvador. I mean, you can be successful as well from here, because, like, yeah, the world is literally international, and you can reach it. And I really like that. So yeah, that's how people meet. Just started talking to each other basically, and then just go out to the Bitcoin hotspots. Yeah.
Actually, that's a really good point to show a little message from Peter McCormack, because we're talking about how can you guys, because I mean, I know that you guys like following what we're doing, and you see all these cool photos, and I'm sure it's like enthusiastic. But remember why we're really doing this. It's not because we want to create entertainment on YouTube. It's because we want to make the world a bit better. So how do you actually do this? Well, here's a little message from Peter McCormack, and I hope you follow it. Tell me a bit about the charitable work you've been doing down here in El Zonte.
Yeah, well, it's actually in the city in San Salvador. I've been making a film. I went to visit a facility run by John and Danielle, who I know, but a small facility run by a local guy called Ida, who is an ex-addict trying to help get addicts off the street, get them reintegrated into society and back with their family. They run on tight budgets, man, really tight budgets, and it's like tough work they're trying to do, but every dollar they get helps them help somebody else. So I just reached out to the Bitcoiners and I said, have you got any money? I put some money in and they put some money in, and I think between both we've raised like $170,000, which is why Bitcoiners are awesome. So yeah, it's been cool, it's been very interesting to learn about, and I hope I can raise them a bunch more money.
What should people do if they want to support this too?
I've just gone to my Twitter, I've been tweeting about it, there's Bitcoin addresses, please donate because it's really important, it's important work. I've got skin in the game, I've donated, if you could donate that would be awesome.
Thank you so much, Peter.
See you soon.
Ciao. All right, a nice little message from Peter McCormack there. Peter's been around this area for a while. He's making a little movie now about how this is.
I think it's not a little movie. It's like big documentary, right? Yeah, he had a whole crew. I heard. I mean, didn't really see him. He's like holding up in some villa. It's not. They call it a villa, but it's like a bungalow, more or less. It's a villa for El Salvador standards. Let's say it like that.
Very much so.
Yeah, cool. Really cool.
Okay, I just want to throw out some more thank yous. I don't want anyone to be ignored when you support this project. So thank you so much, Eva. Really appreciate it. As every time, you're such a fan donator to us and never ceases to. And same with Bedrock, you are to our community. Thank you so much. And we are enjoying every minute. And you are one of the people who make it possible. So thank you. That's awesome, Morten. I agree. Good question. I'm just going to finish the thanks, and then we'll look at the last questions. I think Bart has to go soon as well.
Yeah.
But we have a nice message from Very Cool Name. And thank you so much for the support and exciting times. Enjoy your stay. Thank you. We are enjoying it. It's really hard not to. Okay, let's see the last questions here. We have a question from Christian Schelbreit, who wants to know, did you investigate whether local business owners are exchanging Bitcoin for dollars, or are they keeping / hodling? We talked about this just before the broadcast.
Yeah. It depends. It really depends. Like we talked to one local, or there was not. Yeah, I mean local San Salvadorian coffee shop owner basically. He was saying, yeah, I want to hold at least a bit because it makes it possible to invest, and yeah, he really thought about it. So I mean, that's one side. We also talked to a local supermarket owner. He was like, yeah, I'm not even accepting it, but I also don't accept credit cards. And he was like, I don't accept credit cards because they are expensive, and I don't accept Bitcoin because I don't understand it. So I want cash. Okay, that's also fine. And then I
But
think
the difference to those two things is that Visa credit cards will not become cheaper,
yeah,
but he can understand Bitcoin.
exactly. That's exactly the point I want to get across. Like he will get there at some point. And if he doesn't get there, his son, who will take over the store, he will get there.
Exactly.
So that's all good. That's all good. And then you have the big corporations like McDonald's, Starbucks, Wendy's, the things that you all saw. They're working, for instance, like I said, with OpenNote. And yeah, you can do two things. I think the default is that they convert it to dollars. But if you want, you can also get the Bitcoin that the customer is actually sending. So I don't know. I honestly, my best guess is, but that's just a feeling, so not facts at all, is that McDonald's is not actually holding Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, but that's just because it's the default option on OpenNote. So they really have to opt in. Like, yeah, I don't know if they do that, but maybe we will know. I mean, it should be on their balance sheet at some point. So
well, it will be eventually, anyways. I mean, even if you are going to be converting most of it to dollars, as the revenue increases in Bitcoin, I found it very unlikely that they will convert everything to dollars over time.
Yeah, the thing is that the payment processor converts it and then sends it to the merchant. So
that's true. That's true. Not all of it is under their own control. Okay, we're getting a message here that the Lightning donations don't work, which is weird because we got some. So I know that it does work, but I don't know if it works for you. So, or maybe there is a timer on this particular QR code that I am not aware of. There shouldn't be. I'm wondering what I can do with that. I can show you the QR code, but that seems like a very optimistic prospect. I don't think that's going to work. So,
I mean,
yeah, it's fine, guys.
It's a Dutch guy. I mean, je kan gewoon naar onze eigen Telegram groep gaan, Friedpan. Daar kan je gewoon doneren hoor, jongen. Daar koop ik een lekker biertje van. Anyway.
What he said.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. Okay, other than that, it looks like we're getting very nice messages. Thank you, Christian. I got your Lightning donation. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, I think we have reached the end of this nice conversation. We have a lot more on our program, so stick with us further. We are going to hand out merchandise. We're going to listen to an interview with a local here. We're going to see how the party was on the first night in El Salvador. But before that, we get that long, we're going to play a little song, and we'll be right back after this song. So thank you so much, Bart.
Cheers, guys. Good
luck.
Good luck, man.